Welcome to episode 5 of Surviving with Create and More. I'm making technological advancements. We have a fence. We have a refined storage controller. And if we go inside, we've got a crafting grid and a disk drive, but I don't have a means to power any of this. So we're going to be using the steam boiler and a new mod called Create, Crafts, and Additions. They add an alternator which generates RF, FE from the stress units that you create through the Create mod. Let's jump into this. Now, I don't know how many alternators 147,000 stress units can power, but I do know that in order to make the alternators, you need copper spools, and to make copper spools, you need copper wire. So I set up an automation over here to make copper wire. Put copper ingots in here. It stamps them using a mechanical press. They continue on and they go into this machine, which is a rolling mill, and then that turns them into copper wires. One stack of ingots gives you 2 stacks of wires. So this is a pretty simple automation. We're just putting the copper ingots in there, and if we want to further automate it using refined storage later, I set this up so that's easily accessible to do that. And then I also added another chest over here because we're going to need to make copper rods using this rolling machine as well, and that is just a copper ingot that doesn't get stamped, and then it goes through the rolling mill, and that's going to turn it into the copper rods. Now let's set up an automation to make these alternators. Here's my plan. There's 5 different components that need to go into 12 mechanical crafters to craft one alternator. So I set up 5 different chests here with each of the components that need to go into the crafters. We're going to deposit them onto depots, and then I'm going to put 5 mechanical arms right here that are going to load the crafters to automate this. Because ultimately, right now, starting out, I want to build 64 alternators, and we might need more in the future because I have no idea how much these are going to output. There's the setup of the crafting grids. We want to send the bottom items up. I want to export right here into a chest. Take the create wrench, right click, spin it so the arrows face the correct direction. That should work perfect. Now I need to grab some brass funnels, and we're going to go around the back of these crafters here. And we're going to shift click 1 on each crafter. Just like that. Now we can also add a funnel to each one of these chests to pull out the items that we need. Except I don't want them pulling out a stack at a time. So we're going to set that back to 1. And now it's just a matter of placing these in the right spots. Copper goes here. There. Go. Iron rod goes in the center. Iron sheet, it gets 6 of these. 1 down here, 1 here, 1 here. 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Capacitor goes on the bottom in the center. Andesite alloy is the last thing that goes at the very top. I don't know why that just went through there. We want to put it in the filter or else this isn't going to work. Boom, just like so. Now we got to grab, let me put these things back because now they're not in my way. Grab the mechanical arms. And we can set up each one individually. We're going to start with the copper spool. Shift right click. It takes items from the depot. And then we want to tell it it's going to go into here, here, and here. Now that one can go. That should load those 3. Perfect. Now we go to iron rod. Shift. Find the iron rod. Click. Pop that down. That should load the iron rod. Perfect. Iron plates, shift. 1, 2, 3. We need to get over here somehow. 1, 2, 3. Pop that down. That should load those. Perfect. Then we got the capacitor. Shift. How am I going to get down there? This one goes in the bottom middle. Please work. Perfect. And now the last one. Andesite alloy. Shift. Click. Boom. Do your thing. Crafting alternators. Perfect. Then we wait for these to craft, and then we're going to build the generator. What? I'm taking a break. I'm Union, and I'm letting Knuckle know that we're about to have power. I haven't really been resting the whole time. I've been busy running cable, wire, so that we can get power from the alternators to a refined storage system. Take a connector, pop it on the controller, take a copper wire spool, and then right click it, boom, you get a nice looking wire. And I'm running it all the way back over to where we're going to set up the alternators. Now, let's talk about the alternators. I got bad news. I thought we were going to be able to power 64, maybe even more of them. So I went through that whole elaborate setup to craft them. And guess what? These things use 8192 stress units and make 180 FE per tick. So if you remember, this generates 147,000 stress units, roughly, because we're using some to power the pumps and the mechanical crafter that's in there. So I'm going to put 14 alternators, and hopefully in the future, we need a bunch more because we got a bunch. So we're just running the shaft over, boom, vertical gearbox, and I have 7 shafts on each side. This belt's going to turn the 7 shafts, the 14 in total, just like so. And we're going to go up top, and we're going to put alternators on top of these shafts. And these alternators are spinning, as you can see, and they're all generating FE, 180 per alternator times 14, whatever that is. We're going to take connectors, pop them onto each one. Then we take this copper spool, and we can link all these together. I don't know why I put the 2 on the end there, but I did. And then the last thing we got to do is tie it into our street poles there and hope this works and powers the refined storage system. Boom. Oh, that's cool. It gives you network usage. So we're using 6 FE per tick. Nowhere near what that is generating. And we got a refined storage system. And I'm pretty hyped because now we can start auto crafting and doing cool things in that right knuckle. Except there's nothing in here. And I need to work on tying it into my storage facility that I started to put in the basement. I'm going to tie it into the drawer controller. We'll use all this to store things that we always need. And then the disk drives to store the stuff that we never need. But I like to hoard. And that's my MO. And I'm sticking to it. Folks, that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. That's a cool mod. I like that. Little different. But anyway, have fun and peace.